Hey there. Reviewing the God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, Chapter 2. Chapter 2, he has a lot of quotes, some of them anecdotal. Uh, Thomas Jefferson and people like that. And a lot of people that are atheists that maybe a lot of people didn't know that they were atheists or that they were agnostic. It's an interesting chapter. He goes through the 7 categories that he goes from, I know there's God, like Carl Jung. That's where I would put myself in that category. And then all the way down to like complete atheist. He puts himself on a scale of 6 out of 7. Oh, it's cold out here. Sorry. It's like around, what did I say, 10 degrees, 50 degrees. It's pretty chilly. And then, but the main thing that jumped out at me in the chapter was the part about, it's a lot in it. I'd have to go back and reread it and take notes. I really got bogged down in it. There's a ton of info in there. But was this experiment they did with the prayer, and where they had, 3 groups of people that had like over 1,000 people that had heart bypass surgery that were recuperating, and they took a third of people, prayed for them. They didn't know they were being prayed for. There was a middle third that didn't get prayed for, and there was a last third that were being prayed for, and they knew they were being prayed for. So those were the 3 categories, and they tested it out, see if there was any significance, and they said they found no significance, right? And so he was mentioning this and how people would perceive it, whatever the results would have been, their reaction would have been different, etc., etc. And so, but I was thinking to myself, that's not what real prayer is, really. Real prayer is not just, okay, that's like putting God to the test. They're in error. They don't really know what they're doing there, right? Because of ignorance, the people perish sometimes. And so, the thing is prayer is when you seek God with all your heart. That's why the scripture says, those that go down to the sea in ships, they know what prayer is. They know what God can do, right? And it reminds me of the testimony Sam Harris gave when he talked about his trip on mushrooms. He took, he'd never taken mushrooms before. He took 5 grams in one shot. And I laughed at myself silly. Because, he goes into outer space and he's praying. He's realizing, oh shit, what if I lost my mind and I don't come back to Earth, right? My wife is going to say, and people are going to laugh at me, and on and on. It was so funny. I don't know if it was an audio or a YouTube, but I'll try and find it. And so he says, God, help me. Well, he just said it in one sentence, but you can extrapolate what he went through because of who hasn't, vomited over a toilet and asked God, oh, I promise I won't drink anymore. That's what kids do nowadays, and people go through that, right? Oh God, I promise I won't drink anymore. They know that. That's real prayer. When you're in the shit. And I can hear Richard Dawkins saying, and he doesn't answer those prayers either. Anyway, the thing is that when you have real prayer and you get rescued and you experience it firsthand, it is something that's unshareable. See, people don't realize the depth of the majesty of God and the magnificence of how beyond he is of this reality. That, I think, is the problem. He said, you'll find me if you seek me with all your heart. I thought I was leaving the earth. And God showed up, man, just mind-blowing. But those are things that only I don't neglect to share them. I can't share them. But real prayer, right? So it's an interesting discussion that he has here in chapter 2. He's talking about, you know, he's against discrimination for any reason. He's against hypocrisy, and that sentiment comes through in the chapter, I think. And so good on him for his intention that he has to be a more honest person. And he studied evolution and Darwin, and so he doesn't want to believe in God. But his creation is his creation. I'm thinking of the term solipsism, right? I believe it's possible that that idea can fit in with just how magnificent the creation God has made for each one of us. It is remarkable. So each person has their own opportunity for miracles. And when you think about it, it's the only way Psalm 91 makes any sense. If there's 1,000 falling at my left hand and 10,000 at my right, how is that possible? How can you answer the problem of evil without losing your mind? You can't. You have to experience God. It's the only way. Yeah, no, good for him that Richard is having a great discussion in this second chapter. Much more pleasant to read than his book, The Selfish Gene. You know, the footnotes are at the bottom of the page, and they're concise and brief, and he's addressing different people on an honest basis. He's not just in an echo chamber with other academics confirming his theories constantly and him confirming theirs. It's that whole first book was a cesspool. I'm so relieved actually at how pleasant this is to read and how readable it is. And you know, I don't know, that's just it, right? Everybody has their own opportunity for miracles in their life. And if you're watching this, and if you're a student, you're forced to study Richard Dawkins, right? I would just encourage you, don't let it distract you. Don't let it distract you. That if you seek God and you experience God in your own way, or some people call it the presence of God. I don't know about that, but I just would say, hey, God is real. He loves us. He cares about each one of us. We can see him in the beautiful creation, you know, beautiful rainy day here in October. I can hear the rain going down the spout. That's the noise that's probably bothersome. But I like it. It sounds nice and peaceful. So yeah, if you have to study that book, be encouraged. Other people have sought God in their time of need, and God hears their prayer. He promises that if we call upon him, that he'll hear us. And yeah, he rips into God in the beginning of the second chapter and gives him all kinds of grief. But that's it, you know. We come to God and we seek him in prayer and we ask for his guidance. And the crazy thing is that he hears our prayers. Absolutely, yeah, of course he does. Of all those people in the experiment, how many of them were praying for themselves? That's the only thing that matters. Remember the final commission in John, right? The last thing that he said to the apostle. He says, what do I care what that other guy's going to do? You follow me. That's the thing. The experiment is in error from the get-go. It's what did each individual go through. And if that's a random group of people, you're going to have a random result. Straightforward answer. Chapter 2 just went down in flames. Just kidding. No, it's good reading. There's a lot in there. And it could help you and help you to be more understanding, because this is the de facto norm, pretty much, on the university campus setting. And even, I hate to say it, it's quickly becoming a norm because they won't be able to measure these statistics until years down the road. Well, if you look around you today and speak to a lot of people today, atheism, as he says in the book also, is probably a lot larger numbers than people realize. And so these are people that, well, these are people. These are us, you and me. We got to get along together. And so let's encourage each other. Say, hey, I hope you're doing well. And if you have been blessed by God in your own life, you can say, hey, I sought God and he heard my prayer and he really rescued me and blessed me. And you can share that with people, and it may help them. I mean, they might not want to hear it, and if they don't, you don't have to talk to them. That's all. I mean, there's probably people watching this video, as soon as they hear me talk about religion, they might just say, well, it's a religious nut, I don't want to hear it. What did Richard call me? Died in the wolf, faith head, or something? Say more. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. God bless you. And we're going to move on to chapter 3. I didn't take notes, but it's such pleasant reading. I don't really have to. I could always go back and take notes a second time. Take care now. Hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.